It's 7 o'clock. I'll call this meeting of the Public Safety Commission to order. It's Monday, December 1st, 2025 at 7 p.m. And we'll first establish a quorum. Donald Shang,
I'm here.
Alex Ricca,
Here.
Chairperson Adeline Jones is here, Lynn Glenn,
Here.
and Ted Hales.
Here.
Very good. All right. Motion to approve the agenda. Is there anyone, first of all, from the commission that would like to move anything around? Change anything? I purposely put some of our presentations early in the meeting so that we will have them be able to leave if they would like to. So I'll open it up to public. Anyone like to move anything around in the agenda? Seeing none, back to the commission for a motion and a vote.
Motion to approve agenda as written.
I'll
Sec-
go ahead and second it.
Donald Shane.
Get it going.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is approved unanimously. Now I notice we don't have someone taking the minutes. I'm doing it here quickly, but is there anyone on the commission that feels the
It's my
need?
turn, I think.
It's your turn, Lynn. Okay. All right. So Lynn, you have plenty of paper, it looks like. You're
I
all
do.
set. Okay, I have the first one with our motion and second if you need that. All right, we are now at item 3, and this is our public input time. The public is invited to present petitions, make announcements, or provide other information to the commission that is relevant to the scope of authority of the Commission of Blue Lake that is not on the agenda. The commission may provide up to 15 minutes for this public input session. To assure that each individual presentation is heard, the commission may uniformly impose time limitations of 3 minutes to each individual presentation. The public will be given the opportunity to address items that are on the agenda at the time the commission takes up each specific agenda item. Is there anyone here for public input of a non-agenda item? No? Okay, we'll move on. Item 4, approval of minutes, Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to look those over?
Yes.
Any changes?
Had a couple.
Okay,
So under number 6, the public safety fair discussion, I thought we had decided that we wanted to go back to the old date. I think it was the second Saturday, and that we would try and reserve it with Parks and Rec soon, so we wouldn't be having to scramble like we did this year, because we did it kind of late.
okay, so you'd like the minutes to reflect that we decided to go back to the old date, which was the second
Second Saturday, I believe so. And that we would check with Parks and Rec soon to make sure, to reserve that date.
That's the problem, yeah. Okay, second Saturday in September. Okay. Okay, that would be good for 6. Any other changes or additions or corrections?
Number 8, so is this Safe Routes to School? The presentation that you reported on?
No, that wasn't the safe routes to school. It was a workshop that had to do with the Blue Lake Rancheria.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah, at the Blue Lake Rancheria. So it had to do with their safety issues mostly. How to get in and out of the Rancheria when there's been issues with the roundabout and they've had to have people out there getting traffic and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it was their issues. Mostly. Okay. Anything else?
So there were, number 13, about the
Yeah.
New Year's Eve fireworks poster.
Yeah.
So there was no decision made at that time, because it was a discussion only.
Yeah, because that's item 10. It's
Right,
gonna be
we're going to
discussed
decide tonight.
Yeah.
And then the last one was, I think on number 16, we probably want to put future agenda items none. So that was a
Oh,
dismiss.
yeah. Okay. You're right. That does look a little strange, just to say none there. Yeah, and also 17 should say it was a unanimous decision. Motion made by Alex, seconded by Ted, meeting adjourned at 8:20. So that should be unanimous decision. All right. Any other corrections or additions from commissioners? Okay, then we'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes with those corrections and additions.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Alex Ricka, seconded by Donald Shang, to approve the minutes of November 3rd, 2025 with the noted additions and corrections. Any further discussion from commission? Anyone from the public would like to weigh in on our minutes? Back to the commission for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, and it passes. Thank you for being patient. We'll move on now to the Blue Lake Pods Grassroots Emergency Preparedness and Response Presentation. And we have some folks here from the pod group that would like to do that. I have to tell you that when we put this on the agenda, Tony quickly said to me, "What does POD stand for?" Public, she was trying to figure out, I said, it's like a pea pod. It stands alone as a word. We're so used to acronyms and abbreviations, but this is actually because you're like a pod, and I explained.
Like a cohesive group.
Yes.
That's right. Hello, my name is Dot Campbell. I am a 29-year resident here. I raised my family here, and now I'm raising my grandson here. I was blessed to know Lana Manzanita, and many of you may know her and remember her, and she was very, very inspiring. And she inspired me to pass on her goal, which was our safety in Blue Lake was her top priority. And she loved Blue Lake. And she invited me to carry on her work, which was in organizing the neighborhoods. And so that's what we do. We gather, we train each other, we talk to each other, we make plans, we learn how to put our bags up, our to-go bags, and get our water together, and we gain situational awarenesses about what's going on around us, and in that we take care of each other. And a lot of it is so that we have a sense of self-reliance here in this little burg, because we've all been in situations where we know it's just us. And it is my hope that we prepare now to work together in good times so that when we hit the rougher times, we already understand and trust each other. So we learn, we meet, we trust ourselves, we trust our neighbors. We're cultivating strong communications now. We're training now, we're networking now. We're working together in these little pods of connectivity. So in my group is big enough to fit in my house. I have room for 8 people. That's how big we started, was with 8 people. It's bigger than that now, but so, and now we're working from pods, our little pod up on the hill. It's called Dot's Pod. It's on the map. And we work with each other, with the other pods, but we're also working with CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team. So we link our neighborhoods to CERT. CERT links with the city is linking with the fire department, and the goal here is to operate as one team, responsively, one team. So under duress, we can operate together. We use our common sense to watch out for each other and to care for each other. If you're interested in joining a pod, we'll show you how. Put some sweat into our safety now, and it'll pay for years to come, is our feeling. If you're interested in this, give me a call. We'll help set up a pod in your neighborhood. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dot. Thank you for this map especially. This is really great to have this visual aid.
Hi, my name's Laura Chapman, and I'm helping Dot with Dot's Pod. We're working together on that. I'm also a CERT member, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, pods, the materials in your packet. The first is kind of an introduction about pods, and one of the key things is there, we've got 3 of them in town. They're very neighborhood focused, and one of the interesting things about community preparedness is that basically the strength of social networks within a town or a neighborhood is a better determinant than many other factors in how a community is going to respond after a disaster. So it's kind of surprising. You might think it might be like some infrastructure preparedness or things like that, but it's often just the strength of the connections in the community. So that's really one of the main goals of our pods, is to be able to help each other, to know each other now, so that when a disaster does strike, we're going to be there for each other. If we have a large disaster here, we could be on our own without outside help for days to weeks or longer at a time, so it's super important. You've gotten your map, the different pods in town. Obviously, we've got some gaps, and we've got the leaders of each of the pods are talking together about how to reach out to other neighbors in town to get them to start pods in their own neighborhoods. So as Dot mentioned, please reach out to her or any of us if you are interested in starting a pod. The way that we kick off a pod, starting a new one, is by basically reaching out door to door, everybody in the neighborhood, and knocking on doors, talking to people, getting their info, explaining what the pod is, and then setting up a meeting where we get to know each other and share what resources and issues we may have. Somebody might be a nurse or really good with construction, or someone might have special needs, or small children or elderly people who might need special care. So getting to know all of that about our neighbors. And then continuing to connect with each other through that. Lynn has a very active pod in her neighborhood. She's a real leader in that. And we have a form, the neighborhood, the household form, where we collect information from each of the pod members. And we share that with each other, but we keep it in confidence so it's not spread more broadly. And just to kind of expand on what Dot said a little more, like, we really see ourselves kind of as force multipliers. Like, if we have a good sense in our neighborhood who's in need, or that everybody's okay, we can share that with the CERT, with the fire department, so that they know that's some place where they don't need to go, or maybe there's a special need there. So we're just looking to help each other, but also help the town sort of prioritize where the needs are and how to best help the community. And with that, I'll turn it
Thank
over
you.
to you.
Thank you. I'm Ann Holcomb, and I have lived here in Blue Lake for a little over 15 years, and happy to be retired so I can get to know more of the community a little more closely. And I know I was really excited when the pod started forming. I'm part of the Top of the Hill pod that is between H and J Streets and 3rd and 4th, with a couple of outliers that we included that didn't have close neighbors. And it was a great way to get to know everybody in the neighborhood, share information about food preservation, again, who had different skills that they could share, and equipment and those sorts of things. And we've done some knocking on doors, just getting to know the people in our neighborhood. And it is voluntary. If someone says they're not interested, that's absolutely fine. We'll still check in on them if something happens. And, one of the things that I've learned over the years, I was involved with VOAD, volunteer organizations active in disaster, probably almost 20 years ago now. It was a very, very active group, and that kind of faded over time. And then we decided that it was time to really bring that back, and formed Humboldt COAD, Community Organizations Active in Disaster. And that is really a cohesion group for NGOs, non-government organizations, members of the community, businesses, and so forth, to learn more about specific interest areas where they might have skill sets and resources to share. And it's really blended well with the work that we're trying to do in pods. Because one of the things I've learned just this past year in a couple of the emergency disaster preparedness conferences that I've been to is that the message from Cal OES and Listos has been, no one's coming, you're on your own. And I think we learned that lesson back in the Rio Del earthquake when we found out that we didn't even begin to meet the financial threshold for FEMA, and we had to figure out how to build our communities back up and bring everybody together and take care of everyone in the meantime. So I think this has been just a wonderful way to do this on the neighborhood level. The Listos conference here really emphasized that and is encouraging people to have like neighborhood block parties to get to know each other and share disaster response, disaster preparedness information. And it works well. I'm so proud that we have so many CERT team members here in Blue Lake who are ready to go and up on their skills. So yeah, I really hope people will be encouraged to get involved. And you can form as small a pod as you would like. If you have just 4 or 5 neighbors, that's fine too, as long as you're looking out for each other. And then we can make sure that our entire community is well taken care of. So thank you. I don't know if you have any questions for us or.
Yeah, we'll open it up to questions if you are done with your presentation. First, we'll ask commissioners if they have any specific questions that they'd like to ask.
Well, I just want to say that I am also head of a pod, the ABC pod, which is right down near Perigo Park, and it's been a really good experience for our neighborhood. People are so happy to be knowing their neighbors now. They love the potlucks, and they even like the drills, getting together. And especially we noticed people have been commenting, women who are single, who live alone, they really feel much more supported knowing that people know their situation, people that they can trust are right there for them. But parents who have children who may be at home and the parents are at work, I mean, we all are vulnerable in a lot of ways. And knowing that your neighbors are now your friends as well, and that maybe one neighbor's a nurse and another neighbor has other works maybe in your same city, and all those kind of connections make people feel that more confident. Because as I talked to one of my pod members walking over to City Hall today, and she said, "What are you going to talk about tonight?" And I said, "Well, we're going to talk about how pods really are helping all of us, and we're really going to encourage people in town to form more pods because it's such a great experience." And she said, "Oh yeah, it really is." And she said, "You know, people sometimes are afraid when they talk about disaster preparedness, emergency preparedness. It kind of brings some fear up in them, and they don't want to talk about it. But really, in our situation, now that we are talking about it and we're kind of getting ourselves organized and together, it kind of takes some of that fear away. So you should mention that." So I am.
Do the pods connect with people if, say, they're going on vacation or something like that? Do you notify members of the pod? You do in yours? Yeah.
And my neighbors call me when they're taking off.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you don't necessarily let everyone in the pod know, you
not
just.
necessarily.
And is there a captain or some head of the pod? Because I know you talked about that you were kind of the head of your neighborhood pod, is that
Well,
what you
we
said?
share it. There's 3 of us that share the leadership
Okay.
in our pod.
We have 4, kind of share leadership.
Okay,
It's very fluid.
yeah, all right.
There are 3 of us that share our pod too. It just means that it doesn't all fall on one person, and different people have different amounts of time available, whether it's knocking on doors or sharing information or spending time at the computer, putting together the maps and so forth. One of the things you don't see on the maps is that I know for our top of the hill pod, we've created lists based on the household information sheets and tie it to the map with a number so that everybody knows in this house that's where this person lives. Because we do find a lot of people in our community, it's a fairly stable community with not a lot of turnover, but it's still, you might not know that person whose house you've been walking by for years.
And how often do you meet?
Quarterly,
Once every 3 months about?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what we shoot for.
Uh-huh. And you rotate between homes to
Uh-huh.
have meetings? Okay. All right. Commissioners, any questions for the pod members?
Oh,
I'd
good.
like
Comments?
to mention something else which has come up in this meeting several times, which is Neighborhood Watch. So as we know, the Sheriff's Department offers Neighborhood Watch, I believe, through Ginger Campbell. And when our pods were forming 10 years ago, was that when that was happening?
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some discussion about that. So we had, and at that time, I believe there were a couple Neighborhood Watch groups that started. But they kind of faded away a little bit. So we talked to Ginger and we decided we wanted to incorporate. There was a little bit of competition. It's like, well, who are these pods? Who is this Neighborhood Watch? Y'all are talking to the same people? Are you competing for their attention? And we decided it was best to incorporate the Neighborhood Watch principles into the pods. So our pod had a training here at Skinner Store by some Neighborhood Watch folks. And we kind of, you talked about, do you talk to your neighbors when you're going on vacation? That's kind of a Neighborhood Watch thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that we do. And we had just some really good presentations. We were different because Neighborhood Watch, you only forum with the neighbors you can see visually. Who's in your house. My pod goes up the street, and we don't limit it in that way. So there's some differences and there's some similarities. But I feel like if something came up with Neighborhood Watch that would be helpful to people in town, it'd be a really good way to get that dispersed out to people and, maybe incorporate that into our next potluck or something. So I just wanted to bring that up because I know there had been some questions about Neighborhood Watch as well.
I would like to add that we have a great resource right here in town through the Rancheria, the Resiliency Innovation and Training Center. And they're doing trainings regularly for people at all levels of emergency response, from first responders down to community members. And I know they're putting together their training schedule for next year. And if there are some things you'd like to see included in that, we could certainly make that request now.
Good idea.
Thank you.
We have an issue coming up on the agenda later about fireworks on New Year's Eve. And for July 4th, the Public Safety Commission, in cooperation with Marla Grant, I have the name wrong.
Marty Granger?
Marty Granger, thank you. Put out a flyer. Instead of New Year's Eve, it said July 4th.
Well, it's on the other side of the
Yeah,
4th
it
of
said
July
July
one.
4th. It said, and we put it out, we distributed, I think, like 250 leaflets of that. And on the backside, we printed the city's ordinance of fireworks and discharge of weapons and fireworks in Blue Lake. And we had the quietest July 4th in my 44 years in Blue Lake. And all the critters and all the old folks were very thankful for it. So distribution was the hardest time. And I just got the thought that the pods are a natural distribution center. So when I got the copies made for this in another week or two, I could take them to Lynn, and Lynn could disperse them to the pods, and the pods could disperse them, and reach for people who have kids intend to do fireworks. Because it was absolutely a wonderful, quiet July 4th. And if anyone who has critters, dogs, cats, horses, burros, it's a very traumatic time for them, most of them. There's not all, but most critters do not like fireworks. And so we were very happy as a commission to be able to facilitate that. And I think the pods are a great natural outlet for that particularly. So good. We will, when that comes up, we got some distribution issues settled. Thank you.
That's another advantage of the pods is we all have email lists and we can immediately access all of our members. We have 14 families in our pod. What do you guys have? 7? You have more. 20. Yeah. So automatic, we can electronically reach, like via text or via email, a lot of households in town pretty quickly. So
Well,
communication is a
that-
big plus too.
That would be great. I mean, because the more people we get on board with that, the quieter it'll be. And, you know, the earlier I can get to sleep.
All right, if there are no more commissioner questions, I'll open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public that would like to ask any questions of the 5 members that are here? All right, seeing none, we thank you very much for coming out.
thank you.
We will
Thank
certainly
And thank you
look
for
forward
doing
to
it.
seeing you.
We have in our neighborhood on Wall Street, it's the old street, old folks block. But we say, we've been there for so long, and it's such a stable neighborhood that we all know each other, and if something occurs, we call, are you all right? You know, and so on, so it's informal.
We were the old folks' street on my street until this past year, and we had a couple of younger families move in, so.
Did they buy or rentals? We have a rental.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
lucky
that's
them, yeah, yeah, it's, the youngest ones on our block are my granddaughters.
All right, thanks again. Have a
Thanks,
nice
guys.
evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, we are now on item 6, agency check-in. Do we have anyone here from the Blue Lake Fire? Okay, hi, welcome.
For those of you that don't know me, Battalion Chief Flores. I'm gonna go over our calls from November. Let me pull that up real quick. So
What
in
was your-
November,
What was your first name?
Talia, Talia.
Talia. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So in November, we had a total of 39 calls. 21 of those were medical aids. 3 of those were commercial alarms. We had 2 non-injury lift assists, 10 fire calls, which encompasses all of our fires, vegetation fires, residential fires, vehicle fires, debris fires. We had 1 call for move up and cover, 1 miscellaneous call, and 1 medical with extrication, giving us our 39 total. We do have open spots for our December CPR training classes, as well as we still have plenty of smoke detectors for our Sound the Alarm program. So if anybody in the community is in need of alarms, we are gladly able to test their current alarms and replace them if needed. They can have up to 3 free in their homes. So if there's any questions or anything, feel free to call the station. We also have an email address, info@bluelakefire@gmail.com, where they can get all their questions answered.
I do have some questions. Now, you said 39 calls. Is that for the month? What month was that for?
November.
The month of November, okay. And how many members of the volunteer fire department, well, they shouldn't be called that anymore, but our fire department, how many members do we have at this time?
Active, I believe it's close to 14. We have about 3 or 4 probationary firefighters at the moment. And yeah, 8 or 9 active members.
Okay. And then for the fire alarms, the folks can contact,
Yeah, so they can directly call the station. They can send us an email. They can come on in. Anything will do. We'll make a house call. We'll show up. We'll bring all the equipment needed and get them installed quick and easy.
now you will install them or
We
you
will
just-
install them.
Oh, you will?
We
Oh,
will.
Okay, that's good. All right.
And we can test current existing alarms, unless they're hardwired. Like these kind of systems, we can't test, unfortunately. That's an alarm
And-
company thing.
What's the other alarm for
Like a carbon monoxide.
carbon monoxide?
We don't offer
You
carbon
don't?
monoxide
Okay.
alarms. We only offer smoke alarms. But depending on if they're renters or if they own their home, we can give them some outlets and resources for that as well.
I
Thanks
think
for
the
coming
building
out.
inspector, we got our smoke alarm, the building inspector came through the house, this is several years ago, and said, you gotta get a carbon monoxide, we had a wall heater. in
Yeah,
there,
any
and-
room that has a gas-powered appliance, you need a
Yeah.
carbon monoxide detector.
And just so like 3 months later, it went off.
Yeah.
I mean, after we put it in, you know, whoa, that
Yeah.
was prescient.
Good to know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Very good.
So can you tell me more about the CPR class? So
Sure.
when's the deadline to sign up for it? and-
We typically will put out our calendars on social media. So we have 2 open classes currently in December. One is this coming Saturday, the 6th, if that's this is this Saturday. And they can either email us, contact us on social media, call the station directly. We'll get back to you. Our classes are hybrid models. So the educational portion is all online at the student's own pace. And then they come in for an hour for the skills portion where you test on the mannequins, you learn your rescue breathing. We go over AEDs, choking, drowning. It's all ages. Yeah.
So what's the cost?
For basic CPR is $40 per person. With first aid is $70 per person. And all the proceeds go to supporting the volunteers directly. The district doesn't get any of that money. That goes directly to the volunteers.
Okay. So you have a class this Saturday, and when's the other one?
Oh gosh, I would have to double check. I believe it's the 9th, Tuesday the 9th at 5:30, and there's one Saturday the 6th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's best to call ahead, but if we have open spots, people can show up and we can kind of set them up.
Okay. And about how long does the online portion take?
It depends. If you kind of just blow through it, it takes 4 hours. It's designed to be an 8-hour course in total because that's what you need in order to hold a certification. But it can be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours depending on how you go about it.
Okay.
It's really good information.
And do you have classes in January?
We do, but they're not scheduled yet.
Okay, so you will. Do you,
Yep.
do you have them monthly?
We do have a monthly. We have at least 2 monthly.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions from commissioners?
No, but I'd like to thank the department and all their members for what they do and give to our community.
Thank you. I will pass that along.
Yes, please do.
It's very appreciative. You had a breast health, I know, bake sale
Oh, yes, we
that
did in October.
went very well, I
It did.
understand.
We were able to donate $700 to the Breast and GYN project.
Wow.
Purely from donations, and the fire department matched about $150 worth of it. So most of it came from the community directly, which was really great.
Nice. Very good. All right, any other questions or comments from commission? Anyone from public that would like to ask any questions? Thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it. You're always on our agenda, by the way.
Yeah.
You or someone else can come.
Are you going to be here later? Because we have a.
I know I will hang out until the next thing because Chief did want me to speak about that.
Thank you.
Okay, 6B is Red Cross. You are up, Janine.
Good evening, everybody. I am Janine Hess. I am the new Community Disaster Program Manager. I am in charge of Humboldt, Del Norte, and Trinity counties. And this is one of my amazing volunteers, Chris Hitchcock. She is our regional shelter lead, among probably many, many other things. Do you want to say a little bit about what you do, and then I'll kind of circle back to what Red Cross is up to lately?
Sure. I am the sheltering program lead for our Gold Country region.
Chris, would you stand under the microphone? Not scope, microphone.
Does it help?
It's not amplified, but you're being recorded.
Oh, great. So I am Chris Hitchcock, and I am the regional sheltering program lead for Gold Country, which is from Sacramento north to Oregon, basically. Not all of
that's
it.
big, yeah.
We don't include San Francisco in that area. They have their own region. Anyway, I hope that I know a lot of sheltering questions for people who do the sheltering. I am able to open shelters, run shelters. I know how to set them up. I know how to take them down. And I'm always available for questions. Today I went into St. Joe Hospital to volunteer. I was called at 11:30 and I was there by 12:30, and my volunteer person said, "Oh, that's because she's used to emergency things, taking off and doing them quickly." I try to be ready in case there is a fire someplace or floods or earthquakes. I was in Fortuna for the earthquake shelter that we had down there. And I would like to make one comment about the pods. I think they are a wonderful thing. And I got to thinking, we talk a lot about natural disasters and being prepared for floods and fires and earthquakes and anything else that can happen. But we also have individual personal disasters, and I think the pods would be great for that, because you don't know in general that somebody might be going through a really difficult time. And if it's not a natural disaster, well, it is a disaster to them in their lives, and that's another thing that we should be able to help with, hopefully. Anyway, I sometimes can answer Janine's questions, not always. But I do help.
Most of the time, she does an amazing job. She's been a great help to me as I step into this role. So everybody knows that we are now in full swing out of fire season, and so for Red Cross, we focus our shift over to preparedness. We do a lot of presentations. We do a Prepare with Pedro program for the small school kids. We do a Be Red Cross Ready program presentation for folks that just need a little bit of help figuring out what preparedness means, what it looks like, some things that they can do. Sometimes that word is hard to kind of digest and get it down to something that's actionable. So we try to assist folks with some checklists and with some things that would be practical, things that they could do to prepare for an emergency. I know you mentioned the go bag, which is very important. And so that's kind of the shift over the next few months as we go into single-family fire season, multifamily fire, apartment complexes. One of the things that we will be doing is reaching out to all the fire departments, because we also have a program that is a sound the alarm program where we do go in and install smoke detectors in homes, and that is completely free of charge. You can just sign up on the website as well, which is redcross.org. And so we do like to get as many smoke alarms installed during these winter months, and I know that the single-family fire season tends to be from, I believe it was like November to March, somewhere in there, where folks have more heaters inside, they have more fires, they have decorations, holiday decorations, things like that. So that's a huge push for us after we have kind of let down our hair a little bit with the fire season. So as we begin to move into helping our communities, that's where we're going to reach out to any other folks that maybe might want to join with us. We do, on occasion, we do a Sound the Alarm event where we will canvass neighborhoods. We'll send out a flyer a couple of days in advance, and then we'll come back in typically on a Saturday, and that way folks know that we're going to be coming that Saturday, and if they want smoke alarms, they can just invite us in and we'll install them right then. Again, we don't do the carbon monoxide either, but we do want to get those smoke detectors in as many homes as possible. So that is the focus and the shift for Red Cross. And again, continuing our training, we make sure that we do a lot of our sheltering training with folks in the off season, just so we can be ready and kind of be up to speed when that next fire season rolls around. So it always happens really quickly, and we're trying to just stay ahead of whatever we're currently working on.
Thanks, Janine.
Does anyone have any general questions or any questions about what Red Cross also offers?
Commissioners, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
So is there an established shelter for Blue Lake? Are there any shelter locations? Do you pre-certify? Because I mean, I've heard that some Crash Hall is a shelter location possibly, but I know they have to have specifics, and I've heard the school was, but I'm wondering, what do you consider, if anything, a shelter location in Blue Lake if we needed to have one here?
So when we get a call to open a shelter, that is going to typically come down from the county. And the county has agreements with different locations. Red Cross also has different agreements with different locations. And I don't believe we have a primary shelter designated in Blue Lake. We do have one in Fortuna is a primary shelter, and we do have some secondary locations, but I'll kind of let Chris take that question.
Well, if the county decides that Blue Lake needs a shelter, the Rancheria is a great one, and they are prepared to offer sheltering locations, feeding, and, help with all kinds of things. So you really have somebody close by. And with all the training the Rancheria is doing, one of the people that works there is a former Red Cross person who is big into sheltering and being able to be ready for any kind of disaster.
And then one additional thing that I'd like to mention is Red Cross offers support for families who are victims of a single-family fire, multifamily fire, if it's apartment complexes. That's a lot of what we send our DAT, disaster action teams, out anytime, day or night. So when we get a call from a fire department, we will send a team of 2 out there wherever it's at. If they need immediate assistance, then the team will go out and meet with that family in the middle of the night, wherever they happen to be, or make safe arrangements where they can meet them so that they can assist. We can offer at times a client assistant card, so it's just like a loaded credit card that we give them that night. A lot of times, your purse is burned, your prescriptions are burned. They lose a lot in those fires, even if sometimes they're not very large. And we can offer a lot of assistance with helping replace those prescriptions. We can help with medical equipment that might have been lost. We can help with getting them some funds just so they have a place to go, even for a couple of nights, just to get a couple of nights in a hotel, take a nice hot shower, go get some food, get a meal, and regroup from what they've just been through. So, that's one of the things that we're going to be working with, hopefully fire departments throughout our disaster response area, which is Humboldt, Del Norte, and Trinity, to make sure that everyone is aware of the services that are offered so that nobody misses out on some things that could be provided for the Red Cross just because, the information wasn't out there. So that's one of the things that we're really going to push that information out to all of our communities. And we want to make sure that every single person that we can help, that we can reach them.
Good. Great. Any other questions from commissioners? Any questions from audience? Thank you for coming out. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
And everything that you do. Thank you. All right. The sheriff agency check-in. Is anyone here from the sheriff's department?
Tony said they contacted her and we're not going to be able to be here tonight, but they did send
Yeah.
the last month's report.
Yes, we have that.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, the
Up to
incident
September.
report was appreciated, and I like the format that shows the map of where the incidents occurred.
Right, and then I think Jill mentioned, so you'll notice that there are 2 different formats, and kind of.
Yeah, I saw the list too, right.
Wondering if this might be the new format, I think she said, but I'm just wondering, she's wondering what the commission preferred. You'll notice on this, I didn't even notice, did I put these dots, are there dots on yours?
Yeah, there are.
So the dots, I think, represent the Blue Lake calls.
Oh.
Because you'll notice that, for instance, for
Yeah,
September,
Glendale, yeah.
there are 84 incidents, but only 23 actually in Blue Lake.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think we've discussed this before and asked them if they could just do a Blue Lake only report, and I think they had trouble doing that with their computer.
Yeah,
Have you
they-
discussed this before?
They cannot, because
Okay.
this is a report for the patrol region, which
Okay,
a Blue Lake is only a bit of.
right. So how,
Since they're a county entity,
right, that's how
they're
they
going to
do-
report, if they're gonna get a report that's by incident, then it's gonna include everything within this region.
Okay,
However, having the actual, what we have here with the map actually shows what's going on in town.
right. Yeah, I looked at both, so if you look at this, there's a lot of colors and a lot of, it's not exactly clear sometimes.
Yeah, if this could be
Looks-
printed out in landscape and be bigger, that would probably be
Yeah.
a little more useful.
Yeah, I would like to see both myself.
Yeah, I like both myself as well.
Yeah,
And
I
I
found
don't,
it.
the commissioners agree?
Yeah.
So we can let Tony know that, and the sheriff, she can pass it on to the sheriff. And also, I don't think it's a problem to see the area
Right.
of what's happening with a crime and what kinds of crimes. So I think that's,
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's good too.
criminals commute. And so just because it's, it's not happening in Blue Lake doesn't mean that it's not pertinent to what's going on law enforcement wise or incident wise throughout our area.
It's literally across the street and out of the county.
Exactly.
I mean, out of the town.
Exactly.
So do we, and have you been told what the type means with TRODV and BPAT and?
Well, PC is a patrol check, and then transfers are obviously they transfer into medical or they transfer into another agency to deal with traffic, TRF traffic.
44 and all that.
Yeah,
Anyway, it'd be nice to be able to ask.
I think
the sheriff.
some of the specific ones for 415 whatnot are specific criminal code violations. I think.
Oh, 415 W,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it would be nice maybe to have a code sheet attached. We should maybe ask that,
Okay.
a sheet with the code identification. Any other questions or comments about the sheriff's report? We'll move on then to the Rancheria. Is anyone here from the Rancheria this evening?
Nope.
Seems like there is. Okay, so then we'll move on. Very good. Item 7, refrigerator emergency magnets. Discussion, possible recommendation to council. So what has happened with the magnets is that I went to the Wanika Women's Club and to the Grange and asked each one of them for a donation of $100 because the magnets, as you recall, I reported that 500 magnets, refrigerator magnets, cost $200. And at the Grange meeting, I discovered that there may be a change in our logo. So we went with a more simple, let's see if this is the one, that's the old one. We went with a more simple idea, which I will come up with here as soon as I get my things together. And that's not it either. And that's not it either. Anyway, so that, because remember, these magnets are, the size of a
Business card.
3x5.
a business card.
Business
Yeah,
card.
exactly. Okay, here we go, I got them. So this is really what it's gonna look like. Very straightforward.
Yep.
Okay. And the Wanikas gave us $100 and the, yeah, you can look at those if they want to. And I made sure that these phone numbers were all correct. So what I have here, I have 2 thank you notes.
Same number.
Dear Mad River Grange, the Blue Lake Public Safety Commission wishes to thank you for your $100 donation to our refrigerator safety magnets. I would like everyone to sign these cards because I will be sending them to them and with their receipt. Those 2 groups want receipts. So they should be coming in about 2 weeks. They will be available for free at City Hall. And some of us who have old ones are starting to look pretty raggedy. So that's where we are with the refrigerator magnets. So.
They now say 707, so people.
And they do have the 707, yeah. And the feeling that we had about that was that, especially if it's a child, that a lot of we're in the mode now that we put 707, but a lot of children don't still know that you have to put 707 first before you dial the numbers. So again, this was from Paradise K, which is a local printing group that we have at the district, Powers Creek District, which is good that we used a local company. So those are forthcoming. So that's basically.
So there'll be no logo then?
No logo. No logo. Just straightforward and bigger. That made it bigger, which is a good thing in a way. Anyway, so that's my report, and if everyone would sign the cards, that'd be great, and I will send those on their way. It's all been paid for, so.
Well done.
Do we have to have a motion to send it on to the council?
For approval?
Approval? and-
Well, it's pretty much been done.
Yes,
they're printed?
yes, but.
Yeah,
we-
they're
we-
being printed.
I thought we were going to ask the council.
Well, I went ahead and,
Oh,
once I got
okay.
once I got the money, I just went ahead and did it. I
Right
mean,
on.
it's
Good,
really, I
good.
think it's one of those, it's almost like a housekeeping job, you know, it's
Yeah.
almost like something that the city needs to have that we can provide to the citizens. I don't, you
Yeah.
know, think it's
No, I,
that critical of it.
Well,
I mean, I don't think it's
way to-
controversial, let's
way to
just say.
cut through red tape.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason would have been they may have had some suggestions to do it somewhat differently or add something else, or just, you know.
Well, if
Since
it
it
had
is
gone
the
through,
city
then
of
it
Blue
would have
Lake.
been, it would have been a matter for the, say, the Arts and Heritage Commission to look at as far as, you know, what kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
logo.
yeah, yeah.
But one of the Arts and Heritage Commissioners happened to be at the Grange that night. And she was the one that told me that they're looking at a new
Logo.
logo. So that's when the Grange suggested that we make it more straightforward and not
I
have the
think
logo
it's great
there.
that it's got done.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should at least report to the city council. that
Okay.
This is in progress.
Okay, we'll report it.
Hi.
Good timing, Don.
Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect timing. No, it's perfect. Okay, so we can move on then to item 8, which is I Street Survey, next steps, discussion, and possible action. Oh,
So I need to write down the minutes. So this is discussion, possible recommendation to council for refrigerator emergency magnets.
right,
So-
so it will be a report to council.
The recommendation to, and who will make the report?
I will be happy to.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Adeline,
Yeah,
they meet tomorrow night, so it's probably too late for that meeting. When's the next regular meeting?
I can do it during public comment.
Oh,
Or it's the 23rd of December.
Yeah, I will be out of town.
23rd of December. Are you guys going to meet then?
I'll be out of town, so I won't be able to do that one. If
So
someone
you're
else
gonna-
wants to do the
you're gonna-
23rd.
So you're going to report a public comment?
Yeah, I can
What
do
do
it
you think
tomorrow.
that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, did you need anything else on that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, we are on I Street Survey, next steps, discussion, and possible action. So a group of 4 of us met on the 22nd of November, Saturday. Ted Hales had the surveys, and I was there.
Mayor Sawatsky.
Teresa Sawatsky was there, and John Sawatsky. And we basically took the surveys, separated them out amongst us, and it was a beautiful day, so we just broke up the neighborhood and went around and knocked on doors, and I talked to quite a few people. I think Ted and John and Teresa did also, and we got them out. The date for them to come back is December 22nd. And we told folks that if City Hall is closed, they can put it in the post office slot on the door. And I checked in with Tony Friday, and she said that there were about 4 of them already in. So we will wait until December 22nd. And what I was wondering about with next steps, I was envisioning an ad hoc committee of maybe 2 of us getting together to assimilate the surveys and determine what was their favorite mitigation for I Street. And then even look at, because I noticed when I looked at Tony, when Tony showed me the surveys, there's a lot of comments on the bottom. So even putting those comments in some format too, if there are any.
Are there any more of those ballots left or whatever to?
Surveys?
I missed you guys when you were,
Okay, your neighborhood was not included,
oh, okay. that's
okay?
fine. Sorry
What
about
we
that.
did is we went, okay, so I Street is the main street, so we went H, I, and J, and then we went 4th, 5th, 6th, 4th.
Yeah, it was Blue Lake Boulevard to First Street.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
right. So it's basically that neighborhood. that we went to for the input. So anyway, they're coming in, the final date for them to come in is on the 22nd of December, as I mentioned. And that was on the survey as well, so everyone knows that. So is there any thought about how we should proceed next, or?
We should just wait till we get them in and, on the 22nd, if I can collect them and I can essentially do a summary. I can go through and do just do a
Tally.
a 1 through 9 tally, and then also do take down each of the comments and write those individually on a separate sheet.
Yeah, I
So
would
that it
like
would all
to see
have
those.
all of the comments, written out
Great, okay.
to maintain an anonymity and just have it in essentially a summarized document with the accounts of who picked what out of the 9 choices, the ranked choices, how they ranked them.
Okay. All right,
And then I can present that in January.
yeah, our next meeting will be January 5th.
I
Monday.
have a question of, if our terms are up in the coming month, is that before the meeting or after the meeting?
It's the 30th. The meeting's
It's the 30th of December.
They end on the 30th of January.
January,
and
okay,
we
so
meet
we're
the
good for
first
the
Monday,
January
yeah.
meeting? Okay,
Yeah, we're fine, but not February.
okay, that's,
Right, so that needs to be a future agenda item
yeah.
for January. But good question. All right, well, does the commission feel like that's a good way to go? If Ted has agreed to do that, thank you for doing that. It's a big job.
Should be fairly straightforward.
Could be fun.
Could be.
Be interesting.
It could be.
I
I
to
think
see what they said.
it would be interesting. Yeah, that's one way to call it.
So
Interesting.
this will be on the January
Yeah,
agenda.
January 5th is the Monday, the first Monday.
That in my brain.
Any other questions or comments about the survey? Okay.
No, it
Anyone
sounds like
from
good progress is
public?
going on with it now
Like
at
to make
last.
comment? Okay, back to commissioners. Yeah, it's moving along very nicely. All right, so we're now at 9, increase of speed bumps throughout the city discussion.
Okay, I was volunteered to diagram approximately where the speed bumps in our neighborhood of the A Street corridor, basically. And you got it in the packet, it was there. It's pretty simple. There are 3 along A Street itself, 1 on Wall Street, and 2 on Broad Street on each side of A Street. That's 6 all total. There may be a request for one on the northeast side of A, between A and B Street, another speed bump, which I did not put in there, mainly because Don ran into the only negative comment we've had on that from a person who lives in that site. So I left that speed bump out. As we get into, as the commission gets into, when the council is considering this, when we do the door-to-door, as Ted and Adeline and whoever, I forget the other 2 who were with him, we'll do that in that neighborhood to get door-to-door recognition and feedback. So that's where it is, if everybody's agreed with that diagram that I put out there. Have any questions or? Now, Don's house is at the southeast corner of Broad and A Street. And that's another reason for the 2 on Broad Street, because he's worried of his granddaughters and other children playing, and I do see that. There's a basketball, it's a nice little nexus of children there.
These kids and they're all their friends and then.
Yeah, no, I've seen that on my walks.
Do we have that map in our packets?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, I'm
It's
sorry. I
the
didn't
last
see it.
item, I think.
Okay, good, thank you. So you're recommending a survey similar to what we did with,
I think it would only be politic, but not yet. I mean, I think the council, that's going to become necessary at the time the council is considering it. Right now, it's still pie in the sky, and we don't know what the budgetary factors of it or anything like that. So it's really, at this point, I think,
here it is.
it should go to the council, and the council should take may take our recommendation, and that's when the time frame will be defined, and we can start doing it then, as that process is occurring.
okay.
It's,
Don?
sorry about
Go ahead,
that.
Donnie.
It's I don't know how much each one of those cost the city.
$35,000.
I donated a couple of my sons to help if
Seriously?
that's necessary. If we had to, if it was not cost effective at all, we could maybe cut back on a couple of them to accommodate the budget here or whatever works, you know. I'm just really concerned about A and Broad Street there, because people just fly through there constantly, especially on A Street coming up through that.
I realize that, and that was an option we could do, just that corner and get away with only 4. However, in my talking to neighbors out on Wall Street, they definitely want at least 1, and maybe 2, on the other side of A Street, where the one that has a church, the community church there, up there. Because that's a lot of old people and so on. But I have not directly spoken. The only people I've spoken to is Elizabeth McKay, who is very strongly in favor of it, and then the house next door, Chris Fiore, and he's also in favor of it.
Chris Fire.
Chris Fire.
Yeah,
Is
this
that
is,
down by Flo's house, Farnsworth there too? Is that Wall Street down there, or that's?
No, Wall,
That's B Street, yeah, so I'm getting
it's, Wall Street starts at First. It's E Street, this side of First.
Okay.
And then actually it was where the bend started. It used to be E Street, but it just didn't work. So they changed that back to Wall Street, or they changed that to Wall Street. Wall Street is from First to C.
Okay.
so this is a really good opportunity. It's almost an extension of the I Street process, because when I first started hearing about this, we had concerns, and there were safety concerns. Obviously, this is something that we should be talking about. And I started wondering, well, what is the process? Because, you know, I Street had the same issue. There was speeding in the street. They had kids, you know, same situation. And I was kind of curious as to how that evolved and and then I thought, well, I know we have speed bumps and humps, you know. So it's a kind of a
There's a
complicated thing. This is a traffic control device, and there might be some laws around it. Remember, we had that presentation by Mike Fogut.
Yeah.
So this seems kind of similar, actually, to me. You're talking about doing a similar survey of the neighbors, because there are pros and cons. Somebody was here last time saying they're noisy, you know, and if you have them next to your house, maybe a bumping trailer might really get in your nerves. And so it's kind of a bigger issue, I think, and a really good opportunity for us to be developing a process for these kinds of things that come before us. But I know you've been here for a while, Talia. I was hoping the fire department, because one of the issues is speed bumps and humps slow down emergency vehicles. Can't do that. And
We're not driving through town at a high rate of speed regardless of the call.
Okay.
And the message I was told to come and pass to the commission basically is that we don't see enough traffic there. I don't live over there. I live on, over off of J Street. I don't see the traffic that goes through there, but my chief, who I know lives in that area, said that, you know, he doesn't feel like it's something that is, you know, there's not enough traffic to warrant 4 speed bumps down one street. I don't know, I don't have the map, I don't know what it looks like, but, and it's not an issue for us. We have no say in speed bumps when it comes to emergency vehicles. There's nothing in the fire code that relates to traffic calming. It's only the width of the street is all that we're worried about.
Okay.
So as far as the fire department is concerned, it's not an issue for us whether they go in or not.
Okay.
We don't feel the need for them in a sense of there's not enough traffic. But that
Right.
was the only thing that was,
But in terms of safety and slowing down response or any kind of those issues, it's not really a problem.
yeah, we're not flying through town anyways. Even if someone's dying, we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. Okay, well, that was one of my questions, so thanks for that.
I think that we'll find, we first got wind of it through the I Street issue coming from the community, that during the reconstruction of Greenwood, a lot of traffic was diverting. And that increased the speed along A Street, because they would cut off in the quick cross without all that holdup here. And I think the same thing happened there around, that was one of the things that concerned Don so much, because it's basically A Street, if I understood your concern correctly. I do see traffic once in a great while picking up speed on Broad Street because it's wide.
Exactly.
It's wider than E, it's wider than Wall Street, and people just feel, has better vision of the sidewalks. So if it becomes a monetary issue, whether speed bumps or speed humps, we could just go with 4 or 3 around the Broad and A intersection. And that would slow it down for those kids in that area.
The other thing is, I talked to Jill a little bit, because I was wondering what the process was, because we have David.
Jill Duffy, the
Jill Duffy, city
interim
manager.
Okay.
Yeah, so David and I drove around town to see where the speed humps and bumps were, and we found there were 3 bumps and 17 humps, which actually are called speed tables, I guess, also. Tables, because they're
They're
more
the
like,
ones on
they're like
Greenwood.
tables. Yes, those are the
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
on
yeah,
Greenwood.
yeah.
Right. And they are all pretty much on the main streets, Railroad and on Greenwood and all along Railroad, South Railroad. And so I asked Jill what the cost, ballpark cost might be, because I had no idea. She said $35,000
A piece
a piece.
for the tables.
No way.
That's what she said.
No, I don't, that's the tables where they do the street itself. It's
So-
not this rubberized semicircle that's put across the
Those are
road.
those are the bumps.
Those are the bumps, and
Yeah.
that's $35,000
No.
a piece? Oh,
So she was talking about the humps.
okay, I thought so, yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there are 3, so C Street has 2 small speed bumps right now in town, and also Vance has 1 small speed bump. Those are the only bumps that we found in town.
Oh, really?
I was surprised. I think they used to have bumps up on Hartman, I
On
think.
Railroad.
Well, they're moving,
coming into
they're
town.
moving more away from
Correct.
bumps and into humps,
That's
because
correct.
humps are a little easier to navigate. They're not as jolting. Like, they might not even cause as much noise
And the
as was
noise.
brought out. They're more of
Right.
an easement rather than a hump, which is,
Right.
Well, I had 2 of the persons
Higher.
I spoke to who are next to Wall Street saying they want speed bumps. They want to slow it down, and speed bumps do that better than speed humps. Okay, so there was real, and being way cheaper, it's more likely to get done in a timely fashion. But again, I don't know how many are going to, once the Greenwood construction fades from memory, and Blue Lake goes back to its lazy old self,
oh, I hope
it
not.
may.
You know what I was thinking, you guys, we could probably research, get some highly reflective, like stickers or something we could put on those bumps, so if people do forget about them after they've, gotten used to them, they'll see that reflection at night and realize, oh yeah, that's right, I better slow down.
Well, one of the things on Wall Street at A and B are very deep drainage trenches across the right-of-way. And it'll slow you down. If you hit that at anything more than 15 miles an hour, it really rattles even a good suspension. I mean, they're deep.
Yeah, they are.
And so that's why I did put a speed bump northeast of A Street.
I think speed bumps are noisier too. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
I think so too,
yeah,
but
so in
it's,
terms of, in terms of neighborhoods, that's something that should be considered. If I were a neighbor and I had one in front of my house, I'd want to know, what the effect might be. So,
it's,
Well, I mean, the cost is really prohibitive, it seems to me.
at 3,500 for the speed humps.
35,000.
Thousand.
I mean, right now, the city is dealing with their budget.
Right,
and
right,
they have a
right.
big
That was
deficit,
another thing for
so
the speed bumps.
that's a problem right there. I mean, the idea that you brought up of the painting, I've also heard of that happening where their communities are painting, they're even painting like a roundabout. It's not a real roundabout. This is happening in McKinleyville, I noticed, where they're just painting the roundabout in different colors, and kids are coming and making murals out of them, that kind of thing. But, I mean, it's a cost-effective thing. After a while, people might just run over them anyway, but it's supposed to be a way for people to be aware that this is an area that maybe we need to be careful about. I mean, we could go forward with this survey, a survey type.
do you think
what we
the I
did.
Street survey would be appropriate in your neighborhood? It's the same it's the same
Well,
situation.
if you're
it
looking
sounds
for
like.
just, yeah, it would just be a similar, but simpler.
Yeah,
Speed bumps or no speed bumps.
right,
Well, we
If the
could,
speed humps are $35,000 apiece,
yeah.
right.
the speed tables, then that's probably not on the table.
Well, I think it's speed control they're looking for, right? I mean, that's your goal, is you want speed control.
And if they approach these speed bumps or humps gently, if they get used to it and do it right, you're not gonna be scraping the underside of your car unless it's a real.
Right.
No, no,
But
that's
are
not
there
an
other
issue.
solutions is the question. Because I think that's what happened with I Street. It could have gone directly to roundabouts. And then the citizens were here at quite a few meetings. And Buster was saying, I'm talking to people in my neighborhood, and I want to be able to point to a speed limit sign and
Right.
say, don't do this, and I'm going to come and remind you if you don't. So I think I don't know that we have to go straight to speed bumps or humps. Maybe look at the problem, which is people are going too fast, kids are not safe in our neighborhood. So what can we do about that? And the solutions, you have alternate solutions you offered, right, on I Street?
Well, yeah, but I Street, is wide enough that you could conceivably put a roundabout. These streets are not. It wouldn't
maybe
work
just
at all.
A stop
So that's
sign
why
or a
we're,
speed limit
well,
sign.
there already
There
are stop signs.
A speed limit sign or a speed.
I mean, they
speed bump.
switched out all the yield signs. We had some yield signs in my neighborhood, and people don't know what yield means anymore. So when I was mayor, we decided to get rid of all yield signs in town and make them stops. Well, people don't understand what yield means. What does it mean? I yield to you or you yield to me? It's
Right.
not clear. It's ambiguous. So anyway, but back to this speed hump idea. The only thing I can see that people might want to weigh in is where they should be, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
I
we
mean,
can't,
I think the neighbor should be able to say if they want them, first of all, and then
Right.
where they should be.
right, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, you almost need a map.
Well, then-
You need to show the neighbors the map.
Well, this is it.
And
I
then
mean-
you need to have what, choices? I'm just trying to think how this survey is going to be constructed, because it was much more straightforward with I Street. We had a list of options. Here, we don't really have a list of options. We have this one option, but whether you want it or whether you don't, and where, seems to be the question. And I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how to put that in a survey
Right.
form. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I could try to come back. No, I don't want to bite that off. I have other
Yeah,
options
I
until January. So,
Yeah.
but after the middle of January, I'd be willing to take on another project and just write maybe I'll just do three, if I could do three questions. Do you think there is a traffic problem in this A Street corridor, along the A Street corridor? speeding vehicles or something. And what solution would you prefer? Would you prefer a speed bump or hump?
You have to explain
Or
what that
would
is.
you prefer roundabouts? I mean,
No,
Yeah, probably
I
not
think that's
roundabouts,
completely
yeah.
out of the question
Okay.
with these streets.
But yeah, we heard from the chief, and he lives in that neighborhood, and he said he doesn't see it a problem. He doesn't see a problem. So people will have different opinions.
Talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Chief Anuka.
Chief
Yeah, he
Anuka.
just lives half a block from me and she does too.
Yeah, I do too, yeah.
So she sees all the traffic there with the kids and the cars and everything too
Right.
as well.
Yeah, but you'll want to ask the residents who live there and
But,
what their
you know,
opinion is.
speed bumps, speed limit signs, that sort of thing, reminders. Those are obviously more, rather than speed tables, probably a little more cost effective, but yeah, I don't know what the rules are though for speed bumps as far as what you have to put in if you have to have lines that lead up to them to warn people, visual.
Yeah,
like
most of them
Because they
have
did,
that as
because they
well.
did when they had the temporary
railroad.
speed bumps on Railroad that
Right.
rattled your teeth. They had to paint approach lines essentially that said, hey, here it comes.
Yeah, and they have that on Greenwood too.
And so you
A
have
lot
to,
of
yeah,
them.
so you have to have a cost, you have to have once we get our survey in, then then we can submit it, I guess, to the city, to the public works and whatnot, and maybe get a cost estimate of what each of these solutions can be, and we'll probably have to do the same thing with this A Street speed bump thing and see what the neighbors want and then what the cost
Yeah,
estimate would
yeah.
be, and so
Yeah,
Okay, so
on down
that's,
the ride, so.
Yeah.
right, because if we're making recommendations to council, I think we need to know what we're asking. We're asking for 6 speed bumps could be $210,000.
yeah, right,
Probably
that's not
Not a
realistic.
good thing to be asking
Yeah.
for right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to set the neighborhood up to thinking, look what you could have, look at all these speed bumps you could have, based
Exactly.
on the cost.
Right, right. Well,
Because-
this was just a draft. I mean, this is-
Yeah, I know,
Right.
I'm not,
Right.
I
Another
don't
way
know
to
where
look at it is
proceed.
too, is what I was looking at when I was driving. When I was driving I Street, trying to come out, brainstorm, where could you put this? It was really about stop signs. Where would I put a stop sign based on how much speed do I attain before I need to start slowing down? And that way you might look at going from Hartwood or Greenwood and drive it and see, okay, now I'm getting up to it, once I get this many feet, I'm getting so many, I'm getting up to where maybe I need to have something up just here to slow down. So you may not need 3. You might only need 2.
The last
on
block
A
of
Street.
A Street between Hartman and Broad is a long block. And
Right, that's what
where
I'm
the
saying. I'm
speed
just
picks up.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's really not just walk it, but drive it
Yeah, yeah.
and see where you think, well, hey, maybe we can go a little bit longer
Yeah.
before we put a speed bump in.
And there are, because a lot of agencies have thought about speed bumps and speed humps for a long time. So there are rules and findings that, like this says mid-block, not near an intersection, should not be placed on a sharp curve. I mean, there's all these rules. So maybe we want to ask Mike again to come tell us what are our limits? What would the limits be in Blue Lake for said bumps and humps?
Okay.
And then find out the cost, of course.
Okay, that could be something future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take it under consideration at this point. It's still under
Yeah.
consideration.
And
Well,
what-
we'll bring it on as our next agenda item also, because we have to hash it out. And we
Yeah.
might ask for Mike Fogut to come. We can put it early on in the agenda, and he can maybe give us some recommendations about what to do about that particular street. I don't know that he's,
Is Hartman-
examined it.
Is Hartman going one way?
No, it's two-way. But it's.
I know it is now, but I thought there was a rumor going around.
We discussed it.
No movement, okay.
It's really a substandard street. I mean, Karen Nessler remembers when she was a little girl, it was just a path. It was just nothing. Yeah, yeah. It was just, Hartman was just a little dirt path when she was a little girl. Shouldn't have even been a street, really. But people started using it, kids especially getting to school, because the school used to be in that subdivision there where I live. it's called the Schoolhouse subdivision. That's where the school used to be. So a lot of kids would use this path, and it just became more and more used.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting history.
Well, this is probably not going to be the last request we get, really. Because we had one from I Street about speed, we had one
Right.
from A Street about speed, and
that's
so then we'll
great.
have a process for the next people who come.
Exactly, yeah, that's why I wanted to know
Yeah.
how to get this survey so that it's in some kind of manageable form. But
Right.
I think it's great when people are proactive about their
I do
neighborhoods.
too.
And if they see issues, I mean, we need to know about that. You know, it's nice that you and your husband went and drove around the town and counted the speed humps and that kind of thing, but, you
You
know.
were surprised.
That was a big surprise. It was a good surprise. All right, we will continue this item. Sorry, we can't
Are you gonna take public
do
comment?
what we need.
Public comment.
Okay, well, public comment. Any other questions or comments from commissioners before we open it? Okay, public comment.
Well, I don't know if I can talk Donnie into this.
Check out her innovative idea.
So I don't know if I can talk Donnie into this, but I was looking while you guys were talking for low-cost traffic calming, and for just $25.58 each, you can get a sign that says, "Slow down, only you can prevent speed bumps." I think it's pretty great.
I like that. I
I
like
love
that.
that.
Yeah.
You know, but seriously, I mean, I think, you know, if you're outside and you're seeing the same people running a stop sign and you're snapping pictures of them and you're calling the sheriff or the highway patrol and you're saying, hey, we have a problem, guess where this guy lives? And you turn over a name and an address and some photographs. And you put up some signs like this, and like up by Buster's place, he had, you know, he has the little reflective kid in the street with the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
And,
lot of people have
and-
those.
And Buster, you know, waves at people when they're going too fast and gives them a hard time. And people slow down. You know, I don't know, anyway, I'm game for whatever makes people observe the stop signs, because I think that's really important. Everybody counts on cars stopping at a stop sign. Now, if it takes you out there with a flag waving at people or a camera, you know, short of getting in a fight with your neighbor. You know, we could all guilt a few people into slowing down. It works. Your neighbor posted something on Facebook about showing somebody just blazing right through that stop sign.
Good.
And I think she mentioned a couple days later that she hadn't caught him doing that since
Wow.
it went up on Facebook.
I was really friendly to that fellow. I approached, it was his wife actually. I went up to their house and I knocked on the door and I said, please tell your son, I knew their son was close to driving age, please tell your son to stop all the way at that stop sign. There's lots of kids on bikes there. And his wife comes out and then he starts giving me lip about it. None of your, you know, whatever business or whatever. And then his wife steps out to give me a lip too. And I'm
Well,
standing
don't
on
do
their
that.
property and I don't want a confrontation if I can
No,
avoid it.
don't get
But stupidity
confrontational.
is what it is, you know?
All right, well, like I said, it doesn't look like we can come to any conclusions tonight, but we will keep it on our agenda, and we will possibly brainstorm some ideas.
Do we need to gather more information? So you're going to talk about the petition. Do we want to gather, do you want to ask Mike maybe to come to the next?
Oh, yeah,
meetings?
I have that as the
Okay.
next agenda item. Yeah,
So we'll-
I think
so
Mike Fogut needs to weigh in on that,
Yeah.
on that particular street. So we're going to have our city engineer, Mike Fogut, at our next meeting, and I will notify him and the city that we want him here, and that before the meeting, he should look at A Street specifically and give us some recommendations. Because like we've mentioned, it's not big enough for a roundabout, and that's probably not what you want anyway. And then, you know, what other alternatives there might be.
It doesn't have to be that humongous. you know?
I know, but everything costs money, and, you know, cities are liable if they don't do them the correct way. Things have to be engineered. You know, it's complicated. Life is complicated. So we have to be aware of that.
The one neighbor complained, when I asked him about it, if he was on board with it, and he said, I hate those things, they're all over the damn place, but he's got a four-wheel drive with this much clearance underneath it too, so
Oh.
it's not like it's detrimental to his vehicle or anything. Yeah, anyway,
No.
he's a nice fellow, he just has his own ideas, you know?
Okay. All right, we'll continue this. It'll be on as another agenda item, item 9. All right, let's move on to item 10, New Year's Eve poster concerning fireworks, discussion and possible action. Alex, you sort of talked about this back when we were discussing
We
the
have
pods.
this, I will take this to City Hall. They'll dig out, or they can copy from the few that I have left over from the 4th,
You better bring it.
and put the city ordinance on the back of it. And I'll take care of distributing it to the logger and the pods, and maybe the tap room will take it. I don't know where else.
When they're talking about was there a holiday camp or something?
there's a-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, summer
the-
youth.
At
summer-
Crash
Yeah,
Hall.
but it's
Yeah.
winter break use.
Winter break youth.
Winter
Yeah,
break youth.
that's
Take
right.
some
We
down
should-
there to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
on, to
right,
distribute it
right.
there.
Yeah, I'll come
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah, because
Elizabeth,
the
is it?
school is not interested, Emily Wood,
Emily.
the
Emily.
park and
I
rec
got the first one
director.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good too.
Okay.
Yeah, the school is not interested in, disseminating.
Yeah, I
there.
figure that.
But the, winter youth group would be good. That would be one
Yeah,
way to get it
yeah.
out. And then just posters and everything else. And then I will be in town on the 31st, so I will ring the church bells at 9 o'clock.
Good.
I've got it on my calendar. So don't go to sleep, you don't go to sleep at 9, do you?
They don't ring loud enough to keep me awake.
I mean, that's pretty close to your
Yeah,
house.
or Eastern
though.
Standard Time.
Okay.
Church
All right.
bells aren't an objectionable noise. I mean, they're just not.
Well, I don't know. Do dogs bark? I don't have
No,
animals.
no,
Do they
no.
bark at, okay. If they don't bark at the church bells,
We
that's
get,
good.
we get a choir of barks every time the siren goes off.
Oh, yeah,
The
well,
pack,
that,
the
yeah.
granddaughter's pack is, and they got a bass, they got a tenor, they got an alto, and they got a soprano.
That's a great pack of dogs, so your granddaughters are really sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw her out there with them as I was coming. Okay, now, let's talk about, this was discussion and possible action. So our action is that we are going to move forward with disseminating these notices with the little jingle on it.
If you want me to deliver some to your houses, I will, but I don't think we need to discuss that.
The city council's already approved them, correct?
Huh?
The city council's already approved them?
They did approve them for the 4th of July. I'm not sure if they approved them for the,
I
both of them,
I think
but
the only
yeah.
cost is the paper running through the machine,
right.
and,
What do you think, Elise?
I think it worked the first time, I think it's fine to try it again. I mean, last time too, there was they got the banner.
Yeah, the banner was
But the
really
banner talked
nice.
about 4th of July, I'm pretty sure.
I know, you can't switch it. It doesn't, yeah, it wouldn't work. You'd have to somehow, instead
Maybe
of
can
4th of
you-
July, put New Year's Eve.
Can you add it to your report to the council tomorrow night? Public comment?
Sure. That we'll have these?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have an extra one of these?
yes, I think I
I'll post like
do.
4 or 5 of them or whatever.
You have 4th of July, but do you have the New
I
Year's?
have both of them. Here,
Do we need a
New
New
motion?
Year's.
Year's.
If
4th of
somebody
July.
wants to get a banner made by Staples, I'll kick down $20 for that. You can get it, Staples will make banners
Oh,
real quickly.
Kenny makes them real quick too.
yeah.
I'll split,
Right.
if it's more than 25, I'll put 25 into that.
How much was the banner for the
The
4th of
banners
July?
are, a 4-foot banner, $60.
60?
Yeah, at least it's $60
Yeah.
if it's 36
I'll
by
do-
4 feet.
I'll do 20, you do 20, somebody else will do 20?
I'll do 30, you do 30,
All right, yeah, that's fine.
unless you want to do 20.
I ain't got that much on.
Well, no, not now, hold it, yeah.
We'll escort you down to the
Okay.
bank.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, do it, we'll cover the cost. Yeah.
All right, so the plan is that we're going to disseminate these around town through the pods, through the winter youth. I will present this to the council tomorrow night to let them know, although there will be one more meeting, but I won't be at that one. So, and also we will be looking into getting a banner made, which you better check with Paradise K how quickly they can do it.
Did they do the other one? Do we remember?
I'm pretty sure they.
Then they should have it all set up and everything. All they'd have to do is change 4th of July to New Year's.
Okay, who would like to connect with Paradise Cake?
Ted's gonna do it, and
You want to do that?
Yeah, I'll give them a call
Thanks, Ted.
tomorrow.
All right, Paradise K tomorrow. And, I mean, if they can't do it by the 31st, don't get it done.
No,
Let's see.
yeah, they
Oh.
can, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
Do we need a motion, or are we just recording this, or what?
We could probably make it in the form of a motion. Does someone want to make a motion about all these plans that we have for this?
4th of July?
No,
Or for the
it's
New
New
Year's.
Year's Eve.
Yeah, the New
I'll
Year's,
put
I'm
it-
sorry.
Put it on this side. So the motion would look like we are going to have New Year's Eve please printed up and disseminated. We're going to get a banner from Paradise K and
Distribute them locally.
distribute them locally.
How many copies? I think 150.
Is that what you did last, for
I
4th of
think
July?
there were 250, and I have
And that
at
was
least.
too many.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and only make 100 or 150 at least.
I'd do 150, figure 20 to each pod, 3-4 pods, that's 80. Summer youth's gonna take 40 or 50, so that puts us over 100.
yeah.
You know, and then the lager will take a stack, and maybe the brew pub,
He said,
Down to-
he said 100?
Mark?
He said 150, I think.
150 to 200, yeah. And I'll take care of that.
So who's going to pay for the costs?
You get the banner, I'll take care of the,
Yeah.
this.
You're paying for the banner, and who's paying for the printing costs?
I'll pay for the printed copy.
Okay.
Or maybe we can split it, some of it's
Or maybe the
expensive.
city can do it, I don't know.
Well,
But you want it with
I'd
the,
rather just get it done. The city has enough financial problems right
you're-
Okay.
this one doesn't have
now. No,
the city ordinance, but that's okay.
no, I have the ordinance here,
Yeah, okay.
but,
All right, so do we want to make a motion to do this, commissioners?
I
wanna make it?
motion,
Then move-
I
you
motion
move-
that, all
That
of that
we
be
do
said.
it.
Okay.
That
That
we-
Moves.
that
move-
we,
make
Move
150
to-
copies
yeah,
The banner.
of the no New Year's Eve fireworks.
okay.
Uh,
The banner
We get a banner for
From
New
Pas-
Year's Eve, no
from Paradise.
fireworks.
Where will it be posted?
And we distribute the
Where
the
do you post the
leaflets
banner?
locally.
Well, that's interesting because there's going to be that Winter Wonderland on the museum lawn on the 20th. So if the banner goes up, it may have to be after that. I don't know that they can
Yeah,
coexist.
that's fine. It shouldn't be a problem, like, right after Christmas, if we can get it up there.
Yeah,
If
or
it's
right
okay with
after the-
them, whatever we have to do for permission.
Where was the
You
other?
have to ask the museum for permission,
Okay.
by the way. Cynthia
Well,
Bagwell
you can do
is
that,
the.
Madam Mayor, you on the.
You know, we just had a museum meeting today. It would have been nice to know this beforehand. But anyway, yeah, that is the museum's property given to them by the lumber mill. But anyway, you have to have permission to put anything up there. If they have the Winter Wonderland on the 20th, you should put it up after that, because there's nothing else going on.
After
All right,
12.
so
That
let's
would be a
see.
good place to distribute, too.
Okay, so Ted has moved that the New Year's Eve
Could you
no-
put somebody
no
in?
fireworks
Could
on
put
New Year's
somebody
Eve
down.
flyers.
I'll get 200 then.
will be
The
copied,
museum's closed.
150.
Oh,
Wait a
okay.
minute, you guys, I'm trying to get a
I'm
motion.
sorry.
Trying to get a motion here.
Okay. Madam Secretary, please read the motion.
Okay, so Ted moves that they'll be printed and disseminated, no New Year's Eve fireworks flyers, 150. Alex will pay for them, and he will distribute them to others to get out to their groups. A banner will be printed by Paradise K. Ted and Alex are paying for it, and it will be posted at the museum, and Cynthia Bagwell will be asked for permission, and it will be posted after 12:20.
So moved.
So Ted moved.
Oh, second.
Second.
So-
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Is it clear to the commissioners what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any input from public? Back to commissioners. Sounds good? That's a
Alex
good-
seconded, okay, good.
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes.
That pass.
All right, this is exciting. We are now moving on to item 11, Public Safety Commissioner reports. I had Tony put this in case there was anybody that wanted to report
Good.
on anything. So I can go around. Donald Shang, do you have anything
I
to
have nothing.
report? That's not, that we haven't discussed. Alex Ricca, do you have anything to report?
Nothing that's on my mind right now, except
All of the stuff that we're doing, right, okay. Adeline Chair does not have anything to report, I don't think. Then why did I have it put on there? It seemed like
Because
there
I
was
have something to report.
Okay, Lynn Glenn has something to report. Oh, that's right, yeah. Go,
Okay.
Lynn.
Okay, so Jill, the acting,
Interim.
interim city manager, Jill Duffy, would like to tell us that there is going to be on December 3rd, a presentation and a community forum at the Warfinger Building, and it's about public, or walking safety, or in public
Oh,
public
that's
safety.
Dan Burden, and he
Yes.
is so good. He came
Yes.
out here. He was in
He's in
town. Were you
Florida.
here
Yes.
when he walked around? Yeah, we walked with him. He is the guru of walkability.
So this focused on improving roadway safety and strengthening connected neighborhoods across the region. So when Jill was looking at the agenda, she said, this is something the Public Safety Commission may want to be involved in. So this is going to be, like I said, this Wednesday, December 3rd, from 5:30 to 8:30. There will be food. It's at the Warfinger Building, and it has Dan Burden, Victor Dover, and Josh Meyer, 3 excellent nationally known experts on roadway safety.
I don't know the other 2, but Dan Burden is great. And when he walked around our town, he had so many insightful things. And really, that's what got our Greenwood Avenue looking the way it looked. He had all those ideas about the bump outs and the speed humps. And
So does anybody want to attend this?
I have a chamber meeting that night, December 3rd,
Who's putting it on?
5:30.
It is being put on by, let's see, HCOG, I believe. Yes, HCOG. Who's the HCOG rep from this council?
Kat
John.
Napier. Oh, it's not
John is?
Kat anymore? Oh,
Okay, yeah, so I don't know if John will be attending, or,
I'll ask him.
okay. So I may try and attend. I mean, this looks like it's really exactly what we're talking about.
it
And-
would be great.
And we'll continue to talk about, because like I said, we have a lot of concerns in the community, and if it's A Street today, it was I Street yesterday, and tomorrow, who knows? So I want everyone to know about that.
Thank you. Ted Hales, do you have any?
Nothing to
commissioner
report.
reports? Nothing. All right, let's move on then to item 12, report from Public Safety Commission liaison and staff. Does the liaison have anything to report to us?
Hello. I will just kind of give a brief rundown of what the council's up to in the last couple of meetings. We had a meeting on the 19th and another one last week on Tuesday. So we've been talking about budget. We signed a MOU with the Redwood Coast Mountain Biking Association to collaborate on the bike park. Tomorrow night, we're going to be looking at the MOU with the state housing and community development regarding the 6th cycle housing element, which we are currently finalizing, and the 7th cycle housing element, which will be due August 31st of 2027. So that's coming forward. And of course, the budget is a big looming item. Our projected budget building off of what was the course that was set last year, and if we were to carry that forward, we're projecting a $206,000 deficit. So there's going to be some significant changes to try to balance that budget. And anyway, so that's kind of where the city's at. Jill is expected to be with with us for another few weeks, but probably just, she'll probably run out of hours to work for the city just past New Year's. So, so we're hoping to have somebody in the wings at that point. And there we go, we have some candidates that we'll be interviewing shortly.
You are in the process of interviewing candidates at this time?
Yes, we expect to be shortly. Anyway,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Staff we don't have, except for our staff videographer. Thank you so much for your time here. So now we are on item 13, future agenda items. It was brought to our attention that some of us have our terms up. I guess I do. I didn't know when I applied for this last January that mine was only for a year. I thought it was a 2-year term, but I don't know.
Well, according to the website, you do.
Well, thank you for the news. I
It could be,
appreciate
it could be correct
Yeah.
or it could be not correct. So that's the first thing we probably want to do, is make sure that that information is correct.
Okay.
Perhaps we want to have re-enlistment papers available at the next meeting
Yeah,
for the 3 people,
right.
if they choose to re-enlist.
Yeah, we have to reapply. And so it's myself and Donald and Alex, is that who it is?
Tim, you, and me.
Ted?
Ted, sorry.
I'm like, who's Jim? All
Yeah.
right, Ted, Alex, and Adley. Okay, I didn't know I probably filled in for someone's term that was in the middle or something. I don't know how that worked.
I think all 3 of the 3 that were appointed first went into the terms that were
Yeah.
vacated. And
Lynn and
to
Donald.
expire soonest. And so
Filled in
Lynn and
later.
Don were the last 2 appointed, and they went into the vacant terms that were
Farther out.
further out.
I would ask the council to consider 4-year terms for the difficulty of staffing commissions at this time. 4-year terms would stabilize a lot of
You'd have
stuff.
to change the ordinance.
Yeah, it would be the changing of the ordinance.
Yeah, I understand that, but the council has that authority.
Or perhaps 2-year terms, and maybe
What's that?
somebody doesn't want to commit to 4 years at a time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it
but
might scare more people. It might work in the opposite.
4 years, I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
It's easier to do 2 and then, okay, you're gonna do it again? Yeah, I'll do it again and re-sign.
So that's, so
Well,
on the
that's
agenda will be.
controversial. But anyway,
That will be on the
that's
agenda?
a next agenda item, and our terms would be up on January 30th, so that is time sensitive. It has to be at our next meeting.
Yes. And I have another item that we talked about last meeting about putting on the January agenda, which is, I think I mentioned this, the Public Safety Commission used to have a work plan. And the work plan was put together from all of the documents the city had that established the Public Safety Commission, and from a community survey, I think. So what we did in 2014 is that we came up with tasks that were listed in, like I said, the ordinance, City of Blue Lake Strategic Plan, community survey, and I think those were the documents that we used. And like the first example was the whole annual law enforcement town meeting, that this is something that we were required to do. That's no longer the case, but I'm just thinking it might be appropriate for us to do something similar, to kind of look at, are there any other tasks or requirements that we have for the ordinance? Maybe not. Are there things that we want to consider doing annually? Yes, maybe not. But the reason I thought about it is because we hadn't scheduled the safety fair early enough to get our space at Prash Hall, at Perigo Park. So I thought if we do have regular things that we do, we could be reminded of them because we'd have them written down. So I think I will propose a work plan, and the commission can decide yay or nay. We can
Okay.
talk more about it in January.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And you have a template from an earlier one, 214, which is 12 years old, but still It's something anyway to work off of. Okay, so I have the I Street report. You might have it ready by January 5th.
Yeah, we should have that.
Commissioners need to reapply for the terms, work plan of the commission from 2014. Mike Fogut, the A Street traffic issue. And then,
Mike Fogut would be more traffic control devices. He'd be just about speed bumps, right? Or do you want him to look at the whole A Street issue?
well, I don't want him to look at bumps all over town, just.
No, we just wanted to know what was required. If we wanted to do speed bumps, what's required? Are there laws? What's the cost? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good beginning.
Because he's expensive.
Yeah. And then there'll be minutes, we don't need the pods anymore. We'll have our agency check in, probably won't need the magnet. Okay. Any other future agenda items?
I don't know, I recommend this is not a future agenda item for the Public Safety Commission, but we have Kent Swatsky's correspondence with us in the packet, at least I got it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we all did.
Okay, we all got it. And that's a zoning issue as it was presented to us in Kent's correspondence. So I think if we do anything, we say this is a planning commission issue, not a public safety issue, and just pass it on.
Well, also, it's a code enforcement issue. And we're not code enforcers.
Bingo.
The city manager is in charge of code
Right.
enforcement. And so if Kent, I know you're gonna watch this, if there are any code violations that you're aware of, you need to report them to City Hall, because that's the appropriate chain to go through for code enforcement. You mentioned violations here in your letter to correspondence to the Public Safety Commission, and that's fine. But that's not our job. That's the job of City Hall. Have City Hall address any violations that you think are happening within town. And they can take it from there.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And that's why Tony put in our packet the Public Safety Commission bylaws and specifically what our job is, and nowhere in there is it enforcement. So that was corrected there. All right, well, if you think of anything, get a hold of me before. Usually Tony and I meet the week before the meeting and try to hash through some things, so by the 29th. All right, any other items for future agenda? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Thank you.
Second.
Ted Hales moves, seconded by Alex Rick. Any further discussion from commission? Anyone from public? Back to commission for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.